Round 1. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry Gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 93rd episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and Audio Technica. I'm your not so humble host, Brendan White. Find me everywhere at Brendan8bit. Joined today, one partner in crime, the best partner in crime, the only partner in crime, Miss Ali Hart, who can be found at Miss Ali Hart. Welcome back to the Hungry HQ remote sessions. How you doing this early Sunday morning?
I'm good, man. I've had my coffee. I've done some baking. I'm ready to go. Started my day all chipper.
You are a beast. You are a beast. Like, you've probably been awake for maybe 4 or 5 hours now on your body clock. So this is probably equivalent of late morning / into the lunchtime hour for you at the moment.
Yeah, no, I've been. There's been an issue. My early morning rises. I'm not good for sleepovers. So.
Yeah, or you could be the best sleepover partner because you could be the one making breakfast for everybody when they wake up.
Oh, that's a bit of wishful thinking,
doing a
isn't
coffee
it?
run. Yeah, it's true. But you always provided us the coffees when I was in Sydney. So,
That's true.
you know. But yeah, we're here. We're recording a little bit late. It's Sunday morning. Apologies for that, listeners. I went down with the man flu last week, so I've been pretty... Yeah, I've been off the radar for a few days. And then, obviously, we're missing Dream. Last I saw, he was in a Tekken tournament last night, came second. He's probably drowned his sorrows in a whiskey bottle due to being the bridesmaid and not the bride. So we've just got the A-team here this morning. First time recording this early, I think, ever. But it's feeling good.
Yeah.
It's feeling good.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, this might be the earliest.
And I don't mind this. Like, it was easy. Like, I guess, obviously, you got up and actually did some things. I got up, wet my face, made a coffee, and then just sat down and pressed record. But, you know, you made some pancakes that would, you know, make the clouds jealous how fluffy these bad boys were.
Yeah. Oh, like... I always do this thing where I'm like, I see something once and I'm just like, yeah, I'll try that. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
It looked so good. So good. And I'm a little bit ravenous now. I saw the Instagram story and I'm like, God damn, I needs this. But instead I've just got a coffee and a bottle of water. So
get to it.
Yeah, nice breakfast for me. So, Miss Hart, what have you been doing this past, it's been about maybe 8-9 days since we recorded last. So what's been doing in the last week and a bit? What have you been playing?
Okay, so first of all, I don't know why, I felt like playing Overwatch again. They've had the Year of the Dog. Is it the Year of the Dog?
Mm-hmm. It is Year of the Dog, yep. Tying into, obviously, Chinese New Year that's going on right now.
Exactly right, which they did last year as well. So checking out the skins, checking all the skins that I've missed. I actually was able to play... Someone did a custom match where it was just straight up, just skirmish on the new Blizzard World, Blizzard Land map.
I think it's Blizzard Land. It looks great.
It's absolutely adorable. All the nods to all the Blizzard games, your StarCraft, your Warcraft, and like, it was really adorable. The map is pretty big. It felt big. But all the little nods here and there, just little shout outs to all the little things within the games. Like, that was cool. And just, trying out, I've forgotten her name. Is her name Mira? The last character that they released that can do the healing and then
Yeah, sort of almost like a support heal type of vibe.
Gave her a go.
Yeah. Moira? I think you pronounce it. Moira?
She was okay. I didn't find her too interesting. She really did feel like Zenyatta. So, but I definitely...
So just Zenyatta that has to walk instead of just, you know, float around all the time on his cheek.
Yeah, but she has this like little push thing that's like Reaper. You know how Reaper does his little cloud where he kind of floats invisible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she has that kind of element too, but it's more like a quick rush.
Yeah.
But I really wouldn't see myself playing as her anyway.
What's your favourite skin from the legendaries from the Year of the Dog expansion on the Overwatch?
I had a look at them all, and none of them really... I guess the best looking one is probably Is it Widowmaker's one? I think.
Widowmaker's one's pretty
Yeah.
great. I like the McCree one too. How he's sort of like got the Japanese like secret agent outfit sort of going on.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I think it's Genji. How he's almost like a snow samurai robot-y thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. I'm completely probably butchering it, but he's got like a ice blue blade, sort of with sort of Japanese characters written across it and things. It looks really cool, but yeah. How you find it? Did you find yourself missing Overwatch?
Not really. Like I got into it. I actually liked this skirmish thing because you could attack each other, but it was just messing around. It was just messing around with randos. It was a great way to test things. It was a really great way to test characters because you could still do damage and you could still do like, you know, it would have sped up ultimates, so you know you could play with those as well. But after playing it for a bit, I was just kind of like, yeah, I got my fill. Do you
get XP? Does it carry on to leveling your character?
Okay. The skirmish thing didn't.
That's what I wasn't sure of. Like if it was a way to level up, but I guess then it lends itself to cheating and stuff that too, pretty heavily, doesn't it?
I think it like when it's a custom game, I don't think you can get any kind of XP. I don't think.
Yeah,
she says. But you know,
I'm actually. I want to get back into some Overwatch, truth be told.
Yeah.
I haven't played in a long time, and we're actually talking about sort of trying to do something where we do like a little theme, maybe like a road to ranked type of vibe, where we might sort of try and get some of the crew together, you know, yourself included, and do like a road to ranked where we'll do like our 6 ranked matches, see where we end up, and then sort of work our way from the bottom, no doubt, to hopefully mid tier
to somewhere, to bronze.
Yeah, to somewhere. So that's something I wanted to try and work through. I've been talking to a couple other people about it as well. So if you're still interested or got a bit of love for that Overwatch, we could use a sassy heart on the team.
Yeah, maybe I will then. Maybe I will make my triumphant return, bring the Junkrat, bring the Reaper and Zarya, who's
I like that you're rolling Reaper and Zarya, like. She can do a lot of damage if you know how to play her.
Exactly, and I think I dismissed her way too soon. And then after playing her recently, being like before October last year, I actually grew to really like her. I actually really, really enjoyed playing her. So
yeah, and one of her emotes where she gifts the teddy bears and stuff like that and the presents. It's still probably one of my favourite emotes.
No, there's a better one. Sorry, I completely forgot.
Really?
Orissa's got an emote. It's adorable. You'll love it. She opens up a gift. She sits down on the ground. She opens up a gift, and a puppy comes out, and she plays with it.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I need to probably pause this podcast and go get this emote immediately.
That was the best thing about last night. There was like 4 Orissas, and they were all pulling out puppies, and all puppies were like playing around and everything. Like, it was adorable until a Reinhardt came and smashed the Orissa, and the puppy went flying as well. So that was a bit much. That was a bit traumatic.
Wow, a bit of animal cruelty.
But also,
damn.
Delving into some PC gaming as well. A lot of people have been playing this on Twitch, so I wanted to give it a go. Is Hand Simulator. Have you seen this one?
Can you? All I've seen is like box art or graphics, so I know nothing about this. What? Give me the elevator pitch on what the heck this is.
Hand Simulator is a bunch of different games where it's kind of like your Surgeon Simulator, where you're just strictly in control of your hands, where you're in control of individual fingers and you have to maneuver your hands and everything like that. And it's certain little tasks, certain competitive tasks that need to be done, like your Russian roulette, where you have to load a bullet in and then shoot the other person, or like just a standoff where everyone has a gun and you have to like load in the ammo. There's chess, there's all this Jenga, but by golly, it is difficult to play. It is absolutely freaking difficult to play, and it is hilarious.
So I'm assuming is every finger's mapped to a different key.
Exactly.
And you have to sort of
but
use
you can
it.
only control
Similar like that bloody Iron Bread.
Probably, yeah. But you could only control one hand at a time when you are doing just strictly PC, because it is a VR game. It is a VR game, but it's not strictly set to VR, which is cool, which means anyone with a PC can play it. but it is the best combination of hilarity and absolute rage. Like, I recommend playing it. It's pretty cheap, actually. I think it sits around the $6 mark, I think, she says.
Might even be cheap because there's some Steam sales going on at the moment. I got all those goddamn notifications the other day.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God, I'm already poor again. But Hand Simulator, it's just, you can have, like, multiple players. I've seen 4, but I think you could actually have more than that. In certain games, certain rounds. And I really want to get all of us together to play this because someone will be really good at it, I know, and it will frustrate the hell out of all of us, and then the rest of us will be shit. But
can you play, obviously, online against other people?
Yeah.
So we could sort of set up some time to get a lobby
going?
going?
You set yourself up a little room, and people join onto it. The only thing is it's still a bit, like, I mean, it's not great quality in graphics. It's pretty cheap. One difficulty I found out is if you have set up a room and you want someone to join it, you need to make sure on one of the screens you've selected the right game mode. Because if you haven't, you'll jump into a room by yourself. But yeah, it's stupid fun, which is always top tier in my book. And speaking of top tier, I finally caved and got Stardew Valley on my Switch.
Ooh, baby.
And lordy.
What are you thinking so far?
It was a tiny bit difficult trying to map my head around the controls because I played it on PC originally. But then once I figured the controls out, it was actually easy to maneuver on the map, especially when it came to frickin' watering my plants and digging holes.
That is key in a farming game.
Yeah, exactly right. And like with the mouse, you never knew exactly where you were clicking. So at least with the D-pad and all that, the joysticks, yeah, you knew exactly where you're facing. I didn't think I would fall deep into this one, considering I had played it on the PC, but yesterday I started playing it. Next minute, it was nighttime. And I was a keen potato farmer, let's just say that, and I honestly actually had to force myself to stop playing.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So it's taken hold.
It's taken a firm grasp. Skyrim can sit on the back burner now.
Damn, that Stardew hype is real
it
again.
Is.
It seems to have that kind of attachment to people, doesn't it? Like when you commit to this game, you are in and you are losing hours left, right, and center to Stardew Valley, which is good to see. Like it's a sign of a good game.
And I think there's a sense of like pride and like, there's the building elements, and then there's also like the whole little relationship elements that you got to kind of do, like gifting people, befriending people, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not looking forward to the I think it's like called the Egg Festival or something like that. It kind of happens always at the start of Stardew Valley, which is unfair because you haven't had enough time to establish relationships, so you actually end up quite a loner at this bloody thing. Everyone's dancing with each other, and you're like a loner sitting there by yourself. So
that's rough.
It is rough, especially at the start of a game, like pretty much telling you that you're shit and you're alone.
Yeah, I've got it on the Switch. I'm just waiting because multiplayer is still not out, right?
I've been waiting for that.
It's obviously it's on the roadmap, and they keep talking about it. But yeah, I haven't seen it obviously come to fruition yet. But once it does, like I'll put some time aside and go farming myself because I'm a sucker for a good farming simulator. But because there is that RPG sort of flavor sprinkled through it and relationships and all that, I think this game will take hold like it has on you when I play. So that's why I've been pretty resistant to it because I'm like, it'll just consume my hours, I think.
I was exactly the same because I was playing Skyrim and that was already being a bit of a time sink for me. So I was like, I can't pick up Stardew because I've done exactly what I thought I would do, and I've put Skyrim to the side now. So those dragons are going to have to kill themselves. I'm too busy making potatoes over here, so...
You got to prioritize. You can't argue with that.
Prioritize.
Cannot argue with that. So that's all you've been playing? Haven't been up to anything else this past week?
No, I played a bit of GTA Online with some mates. Got my car stuck in a tree, which is always fun. Have yet to do any of the new... what is it called? It's called Doomsday. There's a bunch of heists for that. I've yet to do that, but I'm going to set some time aside with my little crew on PS4 and see if we can get that run out through. But I've seen some of the content from it, and it already looks badass. Always impressed with Rockstar.
Hells yeah. They can't seem to put a foot wrong with anything they do. Even if they're delaying games and things, people just universally accept it's Rockstar. They'll come good in the end. So let's give them what they need. We won't rush them. And then the game comes out and it sells gajillions. So
it's a steady relationship everyone has with Rockstar.
Yeah. Exactly.
What about you?
I've been playing a bit more PUBG. It was weird actually. Like we've been doing a lot of sort of custom servers and lobbies for so long. We rolled out the other day in a proper match for once in a squad of 4, and it was so cruisy and easy and chilled. And we just rolled our way to a chicken dinner like straight off the bat. It was strange.
Nice.
Like I was just like, oh my goodness, that felt great. I think it was maybe because there wasn't the pressure of knowing that there's a custom server with all these escalators and this and that, or zombies and max loot, and we were just sort of rolling around having fun. It just, the stars aligned on that match. It was the only real game of squads we played, and I have played since. But it was nice to know I've got chicken dinner number 4 now. Steady diet of legs and breasts in this stomach. So yep, thank you, Colonel, for that.
Maybe because you have done all these customs and you've kind of thrown a few different things into the mix that, maybe it's kind of like thrown, like kind of put you in some kind of like rocky training. Like, you've tried this, you've gone through that. So now when you go through the real deal, you're kind of ready for anything.
Yeah, I've experienced, I've gone through American Ninja Warrior or whatever it is, and now I'm out there just slaying courses. Beastman or Beastmaster or whatever it is. I like that, but it's crazy how they sort of tie it to specific. Obviously, it's country versus country and all that kind of thing. It's a good watch. It's a damn good watch.
Everyone watch that. It's on Netflix.
Something that's a damn good play as well that I wanted to touch on. I finally got around to getting into Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, how is this?
And I apologise to Ubisoft for taking so long to get into this, because this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite Assassin's Creed games in the entire franchise. Probably 2 and Black Flag are my favourite too, but this one's right up there beside them. I really like, I guess, going right back to the origin of the Brotherhood of Assassins. You play Bayek, who sort of puts the assassins on their path initially. You're battling with the Order of the Ancients, I think they're called. Don't quote me exactly, but I'm pretty confident they're the big bad in this, who also are sort of the origin of the Templar Order, which is obviously the constant big bad through the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. And I just like that they're mixing in real world history, but tying in sort of this secret spy fictional history through it as well. So it's nice to see. Like,
so they've gone back to their roots in number 2, really. Well, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like you're having interactions with people like Cleopatra and things like that. Like you're back in the Egyptian era. I think it's somewhere like early BC. It's like in 40 BC or something in around there. I'm probably a few years off, but yeah, Bayek's a great protagonist. He's believable. He's sort of got a moral code and sort of a vendetta and a set of goals that you can get behind. He's a fleshed out character. The bad guys are well written. It's well acted. I'm playing on the Xbox One X, and on the big television. It is probably the best looking game on console I've seen. The more I think about it, the more I watch it. Like the environments are phenomenal. Obviously, running around ancient Egypt, you've got pyramids, you've got sort of that old Egyptian architecture, you've got sort of river beds, you've got animals, you've got big sprawling sunsets and vistas and sun rays coming through, and running around just void sort of sand environments, but it's gorgeous. My God, it's a good looking game. And I found myself just a few times just roaming around, taking in the scenery.
Yeah. Is it repetitive?
The combat's smooth. I guess in a way. Like, it's sort of gone a little bit more RPG-like, where there is 3 sort of skill trees that you work your way through, and as you level up, obviously, you get more quests, and it'll give you recommended level X. So sometimes there is a bit of repetitiveness in where you go and do some of these side quests where it might be, go find man Y or woman X, and, they'll weave in a different story where they've been kidnapped or they're drunk or something, they're in a bad deal, but it's the same sort of set of tools every time, where you can stealth in and get the person out undetected, or you can kill everybody. For the most part, I find myself just killing most people. I try and stealth around here and there, and you've got your sort of own sort of set of eyes. One thing I like they included, Bayek's got this hawk with him.
Oh, yeah.
And you can sort of summon the hawk, and sort of the hawk becomes your eyes, and it can scout around the area, and you can lock on to say that the key target or the object you need to obtain, and it can also scan and lock on to the other enemy, so you can start to mark targets on the map so you know exactly what's coming where. You can plan your entry, your exit, and you can level those skills up too. Then you can start working out the paths these people are walking.
Yeah.
You can send the hawk in to distract them, come in and, screech and claw at them, and you can sort of come in and knock them out, or enter undetected. So the stealth elements are pretty great, but yeah, truth be told, I grinded out a lot of side quests, so I feel like I'm a little bit OP at the moment. Like, I only died once at the start because I went into a much higher area. Because it is sandboxy, there isn't anything that's gated off. Like, you can just roam the map, walk into a high area with enemy that are 2, 3, 4 times your level, and just get one-shotted. So I got potted pretty early because of that, because I was just trucking around. But I like that it gives you that flexibility.
Yeah.
So you could go in and test yourself in higher level areas, whether it be an enemy encampment or it might be just a random quest. You're not locked out pending progression. Obviously, main story, you have to sort of follow the path, but anything sort of as far as side quests go, they're fair game straight off the bat. So I really like that aspect where you can sort of try and harden yourself against some of these other enemies, or try and stealth your way through it to avoid any conflict with these guys that are just going to wreck you. But it's really good. My God, it's a good looking game. Controls are smooth. It feels like the free running aspect of it has been really tightened up. You can almost climb anything now. In the early ones where you almost had to look for a foothold or
some kind of indentation
a
in the
handhold.
rocks, yeah.
But not now. Like, it's almost Bayek. I don't know if he's just got Spider-Man DNA in him or something, but he climbs bloody anything, this guy, and he does it quick. But yeah, it is fantastic. I recommend anyone that loved or enjoyed the Assassin's Creed games and might have fallen off the wagon,
Which is me.
pick it up. It's probably cheap.
Yeah.
It's probably cheap now. Like, it's been out since October, November, I think. So it's been out for 3 months or so now, but it is fantastic. Obviously, they've weaved in some microtransaction-y stuff that I guess can be pay to win. Like, you can buy XP points, so like trait points, you can buy blocks of 3 of those, you can buy better weapons and armor sets and stuff. So if you wanted to just sort of go at your own pace and beef yourself up and just truck through like that, you could do that too. Obviously, you've got to drop your own cash, but that is an option there. I haven't found myself needing to do that. I bought a custom mount because I just wanted a cool horse that was on fire. It's like this undead devil horse, so I'm just rolling around on this horse now that's on fire.
Of course.
But other than that, yeah.
I love that when that happened in Egypt.
Yeah, it's just this weird juxtaposition where, yeah, it's ancient Egypt, everyone's cruising around, there's camels everywhere, and then I'm just rolling around on this, like, undead fire horse. Like, it's ridiculous.
Is it true you get attacked by hippopotamuses? Is that something?
Oh, yeah. And they fuck you up. Just like in real life, those things are the biggest killer in this game. Like, I've fought many a crocodile, many a bad guy, but the hippopotamus or hippopotami, is that how you pluralize it?
I don't know.
Hippopotamus?
It's definitely not
hippopotamuses. But yeah, those things, they are the silent killers of the Nile. I'll tell you what, they come out and they are big and they're quick, and it's terrifying trying to take one of them down.
I'd just play it for that. Just that alone.
Yeah, but I've just unlocked a trait where you can use like a sleep dart, and obviously you can put things to sleep then, but then there's the next level on that where you can become like an animal tamer. So the lower end enemies, you can sleep dart the animal and then tame them to then have them come with you, and you can attack people with like leopards or hyenas. I don't know if you could do like a
hippopotamus army?
A hippopotamus, but I'm going to try and do that. I don't know if that's classed as more like a high end enemy or not.
Oh.
It's only sort of low to mid, but I'm going to try that out this week and see if I can try and tame a hippopotamus and then just, send that into war, because that would be pretty sick.
That'd be great.
But yeah, no, Ubisoft, kudos to you, because it's a nice return to form for the series, I felt. Feels good, looks good. Control scheme on feels like it's really well mapped out. I didn't find myself sort of missing buttons or thinking, if only they remap that to here. The soundtrack's great. As I said, graphically, it's one of the best games we've ever seen on a console. And running that 1X with sort of the 4K and then the Ultra HD combined with sort of a high-end television and audio system. Holy shit, it's an experience. I've been loving it. Loving it.
You got me figured. Maybe I should try it again.
And the only other one I just wanted to touch on again, I've played a bit more Hunt Showdown.
Oh, yeah?
It's still good. It is still obviously in early test alpha stage, so anyone that has gotten a key or is trying to get a key, just expect some bugs or some weird glitches here and there because obviously it's not a polished game.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really early stages, but man, it's so fun. But Rachel and I were playing it the other day. We did a full stream of it, and what we've found in it is it's become a very much a camper mentality, which is the thing that pissed me off, and it pissed off Rachel as well, because obviously there's 4 other teams of 2 all vying for the bounty of killing the big bad. Yeah. But we found a lot of people just, once they work out where that bounty is, they'll just camp out around it. They won't try and attack it. They won't try and kill it. They'll just sit in a room or hide away in a bush until you come in there. Then they gank you, obviously get the XP from killing you or engaging in that fight, and then dog out that way. So we had that happen, I think, in about 6 or 7 games in a row.
So they're going to have to combat that.
Was just yeah, because there's no penalty for that at the moment. Like you could, and because there's no timer for the game to end, you can just sit there and wait, like for hours if you wanted to. So have this weird Mexican standoff, and because you can hide, and there is a lot of places to hide. It's hard to see these people. When you get shot, there isn't sort of an indicator, you got shot from that direction or anything like that. So you're constantly just caught trying to work out where in the heck you're getting attacked from. And then obviously there's random AI enemies around you as well trying to hunt you down. So it was intense. It made for some crazy exchanges and some real tense moments. But yeah, these other hunters just stop being dogs. Like, God, it was pissing me off. Like, it happened 5, 6, 7 times in a row where we did all the hard work, got the clues, found the big spider or the butcher, got there, engaged with the spider, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're potted in the back by some scumbucket. So yeah, I'm curious to see how they try and combat that and wipe that out of the game, or if they're just going to say, that is part of the game. But we end up stop playing after that because it just pisses off so much.
See, and they're not going to want that.
What the point?
They're not going to want that then, so they're going to have to change it. They're going to have to fix it.
Yeah, and things like I like the permadeath on your character aspect, but when you are grinding these characters, getting their levels up, and then you get tapped in the back by a guy hiding in a bush for 2 hours, it's just like, what the fuck was the point of all that other grinding I just did? So yeah, I'm curious to see what their reaction's going to be to this.
Please.
Sorry about that.
That's alright.
But Assassin's Creed Origins, holy crap, love it. I'm going to play some more, hopefully try and finish it this week, because it's so good. God, it's good. Such a surprise.
I want to get on those hippos. That's the main thing you've
big.
sold me on. Is hippopotamus.
The hippo, even the big Nile crocodiles.
Ugh.
Like you fight some of them, and then the big mama crocodile comes in usually, or there's like an alpha, and they come at you quick. Whether you're in the water or if you're sort of just near the water's edge, they come at you quick, and it's intense.
Oh wait, hippopotamus is in the water as well. Do they attack you in the water?
Yeah. Yep.
Ugh.
They'll attack you anyway. They don't give no shits.
That's the one thing I can't do. Like, I hate when you're in the water in a game and then there's just things that can attack you and just suddenly sneak up on you and attack you. That's the thing I don't like about Sea of Thieves, is the damn sharks. Yeah.
And the crazy thing too is, if like doubling back on the Assassin's Creed, you can be sort of on the water in these little mini boats that they've got, the sort of Egyptian era boats, and hippopotamuses or hippopotami, I don't know, and crocodiles. If you get close to them, they'll attack you when you're on that boat. They'll come up and like chomp at you on the boat, maybe knock you out of the boat into the water. It's insane. It's like Jaws. It's so good. So good.
Oh man.
Yeah. But no, give Assassin's Creed a go. Fight some crocodiles and some hippopotamus. It's great.
What a review.
So should we jump into some news?
Let's do it.
This week's news headlines.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to lead off on today is obviously we know PUBG has now moved over 30 million units across PC as well as now Xbox One. And but my question is, are they starting to lose footing to Fortnite? So there've been sort of the constant concurrent players, especially on PC where we get most of the data from, it's sort of declining since January. It's sort of on the downswing now. February 4th saw Fortnite actually beat PUBG's record for concurrent players by nearly 200,000 people. So that's 3.4 million people were playing Fortnite on February 4th, which is ridiculous. Before these two games, the only other time we had over 1 million was, I think, Dota 2, way back when in like 2015 or something like that. So these two Battle Royale games are going toe-to-toe now for live player base. I still haven't played Fortnite. Have you played it? Do you like it? What do you think of it?
I don't like Fortnite. It's the building element that I don't really like about it. I understand where it has that, it's a bit of a different angle in regards to the Battle Royale modes that people are kind of used to. But for me, I don't know. Like, just the way the game plays as well, I found that interactions were too sudden. Like, in the sense that, like, the second that you spot someone, it's usually either one of you will have the upper hand, and that will be it.
Okay.
And then when I feel like it takes a bit too long as well. Saying that about in comparison to PUBG though, PUBG can take some time, but at least I feel like I'm always doing something there. I don't know. I that's what you'll find now. You'll either be a PUBG person or you'll be a Fortnite person. And I think that's going to be the new Xbox PS4 thing. Actually, technically it would be because PUBG's only on Xbox. So I'm sure all the PS4 people are playing Fortnite. And it's free, right? So I don't know what the comparison is here when one's paid and the other one's free.
Yeah, I'm like, obviously, as you said, like concurrent players is one thing, but when that 3.4 million people, they didn't pay a cent for this game, and maybe let's say 70% of them haven't paid for any cosmetic upgrades and things like that too. So while they've got a great attach rate, there's not a huge amount of revenue attached to that 3.4 million.
Yeah.
I don't think Epic and Fortnite are upset about that, because I thought these games were going to die. I thought it didn't stand a chance at all against PUBG. I thought it was just going to sort of taper off into obscurity like a lot of these other Battle Royale games out there today. But here it is, on the uptick. And
Fortnite does...
Maybe because it is...
Well, Fortnite does also have the loot boxes, the cosmetic things that they have, like skins and whatnot for... the character, and also for the main weapon, which is like a pickaxe or something like that. So, and I have seen some, sorry, I was going to call them suckers, but I've seen some people actually invest some money into these things. So that's where they must be making their money, and they must be happy with it considering. But I think this game, like Fortnite, is a bit more appealing to kids, and I'm sure parents would be more happier of the kids playing Fortnite because it does have that more, I'd say, like kind of Overwatchy cartoon kind of, look to it. So I don't know, that might have something to do with it.
My little sister's playing Fortnite, and they're 12 and 15 or something. So you sort of tie that into exactly what you just said then, and it makes a ton of sense. Like, where it is a little less intense visually, it is more cartoony and sort of family friendly-esque. There's no blood. Well, obviously PUBG, it's a bit more realistic. The guns are real, the combat's real. There's blood splatter and things like that. So I guess it is more so, one's aimed at a younger audience, one's aimed at a more mature audience. I'm curious to see where this puts them, like in 12 months' time. If PUBG continues to lose sort of market share to Fortnite, or if they're going to keep going from strength to strength and maybe coexisting still. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's going to be a third one that comes out.
Yeah, PUBG's got its own issues at the moment, especially with cheaters and... like what is it, like people mixing servers and stuff like that, like people that are jumping into servers that they shouldn't be, that gives them like kind of an upper hand. So PUBG's got their own things that they need to deal with, fix to retain their audiences before they just say, screw it, I'm going to something else.
Yeah, and like in January, I know PUBG Corp, they banned 1 million players in January alone. Like, that's... Wow. When you look at it, that's like 1.5% of their entire player base or something like that, or cell base gone off the map straight off the bat. So it's pretty intense. But they need to take those measures, because I don't know if you've experienced it in game, but I've dealt with a few cheaters and hackers in game in PUBG, and it is a fucking son of a bitch. Like,
I can't tell. Sometimes, like, I can't tell. I just, when you see a shot and you're like, especially with me and my shitty internet, like, I watch the playback and I'm just like, is that cheating or is that I'm just laggy as hell? Like,
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, sure, you're just good. You're just good.
Yeah. But yeah, it happens pretty frequently, and we've noticed it's happening a lot more now that we're doing sort of these private or custom servers. A lot of these hackers or cheaters or dickheads or whatever you want to call them, they come in here and test their sort of hacking or whatever backend they've got coding that or script that allows them to see through maps or shoot ridiculous shots and things. You see it happening a lot more in the private space. So we're dealing with it pretty regularly, and it is so frustrating when you get like one shotted across a map with a pistol when you can't even hear the bullet go off, which obviously means they're very far away. It wears on you, and you sit there and go, what the hell is the point of playing this game when I'm just going to keep getting like cold cocked like this for no reason? So we'll see what happens.
So yeah, I'm sure they'll do whatever they can, but like, and this is like the pessimist in me, like, people find a way, and like they get blocked, that's all right, they'll make another account. Like,
exactly.
You see all the 1 2 3 4 5 A 9 6 7 2 Z in every game, and you're just like, oh well.
That son of a bitch. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, where there's a will, there's a way, and no matter what, Epic or PUBG Corp or DevX does, they'll always find a way to buck the system and cheat their way or cheese their way to victory. Because people are bastards. People are dishonest. They like to win or find success however they can.
Yeah, and success in fucking quotation marks.
Yeah, like, it's a hollow victory, but I guess on their win-loss record, it still comes up as a victory. So who knows what's going to happen? Yeah. One thing I know that's going to happen when I play The Evil Within 2 next is maybe poo my pants, because they have announced that via a free update that rolled out this week, it is now available in first person.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's intense. It's intense.
No. I don't know why, because like, I watched you and Rach play it when you guys were playing it on your stream, and the one bit that I watched that now I'm just imagining in first person is when you're in that hospital or whatever, and that white ghost lady is chasing you.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I can handle that.
Yeah. We're going to give it a go. I'm going to be terrified, but I like that they've done this. I guess it's a bit of fan service, but Evil Within 2 is a great game. We still haven't finished it. We're probably halfway through, I'm guessing, just with the amount of time we've played and story progression, but it is great, and I think it's going to be even greater and more claustrophobic and poo-inducing in first-person perspective. I'm excited to see Rach try and play this in first person. I'm not excited for my ears, because she screams and gets very scared, and then it makes me scared, and it's just this constant ripple effect where we're constantly scared. So, yeah. I know this is off track, but I totally forgot to mention we played the Inpatient this week.
Oh, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube giving that one a bit of a review. How is it?
Yeah.
How did you guys find it?
Truth be told, it felt like two different games at about halfway point.
Oh.
Obviously, it's the pseudo prequel to Until Dawn by Supermassive Games that released that on PlayStation 4 a few years back. It's a PSVR only title, and you go back to and the first half of the game, I genuinely have not felt that level of fear in games ever, from what I can remember. There was parts where I just didn't want to move forward. I knew I was going to get scared, and I had to sort of muster up this level of courage to just open a door or turn around, and obviously then, because Rachel and I we've got a headphone amplifier, so we're splitting audio, so she can hear everything too. So she'd get scared sometimes, and I wouldn't be. But then, because she'd scream, I'd get scared, and it just, my heart was just beating out of my chest. I
could just imagine the video capture though, because since it's VR, wherever you're looking is what people will see, right? So if you're trying to open up a door, but you don't want to look, so you're actually just looking at the wall to the left. No one can
There's a lot of that.
see what's happening.
There's a lot of that. And playing it in VR with headphones on, I couldn't really hear Rachel apart from when she'd scream because I get feedback through the microphone and back through. I just felt like I was very isolated and being in a closed-off, dimly lit, dank asylum. It was some nightmare fuel, and it was really well done, but it felt like, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if there was just a change in creative direction or whoever was leading this quit halfway through, but it felt like the first half of the game, I was on edge. I was nearly in tears. I was traumatized. Then the second half of the game, I'm just like, where's the scares gone? What's going on? This is now more, even cheesier writing. There's no fear here now. There's no risk. And the ending was just so freaking lackluster.
Oh, no.
You can do it in about, like, we finished in about 2.5 hours.
Oh, God. How much was
it? Was
it like
$55.
No.
Which is...
No, that's not good.
So,
is it kind of like, I've forgotten the name of the game. What was the name of the original
Until
one?
Dawn?
Until Dawn.
Yeah, so there's...
You can have multiple endings?
Yeah, there's some replayability there where decisions or responses you make in-game, you see the little butterflies flutter around because obviously that's going to change that arc. So you can replay it to get different experiences.
Yeah.
But we replayed the ending part again, like the ending sequence, and did a different decision, and it was still just as lackluster and like, meh. Like, it was a bit of a fizzer. So
that's a shame.
It's a shame because Until Dawn's one of my favourite games, and it captured it for that first, 90 minutes-ish. Captured it to a T at the claustrophobia and the fear I felt was insane, but then after that it just tapered off.
That's interesting.
So I don't know what they're going to do.
I want to see how exactly a game can go from absolutely like piss your pants fear inducing to what the hell happened, let's go to Disneyland.
Yeah. Like, it was still dark and broody, intense, and sort of that same environment and stuff, but it just, the writing just seemed to change and slip. So
okay, so let's go to Dreamworld then.
Yeah. Damn.
That's an attack for the Aussies.
Yeah, exactly. Good old Dreamworld. We were there. I went there the first time last year sometime. Wasn't bad.
For the first time?
Yeah. I've never did the Queensland theme parks until I've only done 2 now. I've done Movie World and I've done Dreamworld, and that's it.
And you only did it recently?
Yep. Yeah. Never did them as a kid. Didn't travel much as a kid and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So I still need to experience Wet n Wild and whatever the fourth one is. I always forget.
Next time you guys are in California, you need to go to Six Flags.
Yes. I haven't done Six Flags. I've done obviously Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure and stuff like that in Disneyland, but I haven't done Six Flags yet.
There's some great coasters on there. You'll love it.
Yeah. Something that I guess has sort of rippled on due to the tragedy this past week with yet another school shooting in America. In Florida, obviously, a troubled 19-year-old guy shot and killed 17 students during the week. Something that sort of trickled on from there is this Republican governor, Matt Bevin, has come out and did sort of an interview piece with Rolling Stone, and he has come out and blamed video games for potentially being the cause of all this violence and mass shootings and just general chaos involving people and guns.
Stupid.
I'll read a couple of quotes. So he did a quote with Leland Conway on WHAS, and this article comes to us, as I said, via way of Rolling Stone. He said he was heartbroken for the people of Florida and blamed, in quotes, a culture of death that is being celebrated via video games, TV shows, and music. And then it leads on into the video game aspect where he says, video games that are, yes, listed for mature audiences, but kids play them and everybody knows it, and there's nothing to prevent the child from playing them. They celebrate the slaughtering of people. There are games that literally replicate and give people the ability to score points for doing the very same thing that these students are doing inside of schools, where you get extra points for finishing someone off who's lying there begging for their life. These are quote-unquote video games, and they're forced down our throats under the guise of protected speech. It's garbage. It's the same as pornography. They are desensitized people for the value... they have desensitized people to the value of human life, to the dignity of women, to the dignity of human decency, end quote. A little bit of a sort of follow-on from that, Matt Bevan, who was actually endorsed by the NRA, who is obviously the head of firearms through North America. But yeah, instead of sort of shifting blame to the fact that you can't buy a beer when you're 18 years old, but you can go and buy a fucking automatic rifle.
That makes sense.
When you're 18, has obviously nothing to do with it. But it's so funny that they're so quick to shift blame and shift focus
on everything else.
Yeah. Instead of looking inwards and be like, you know what, maybe we need to sort out these gun laws. We need to finally do something because it's just escalating and escalating and escalating. Like, obviously we had the tragedy in Las Vegas, and now this one. Like, these are 2 of the 10 worst mass shootings in United States history, and they've happened within the past 6 months.
Yeah. Like this 2018. There's, what have they said? Like 18 mass shootings, is it?
Yeah, which is, my God.
It's one already too many. But I just love that anytime these kind of things happen, especially when it comes to students, it's damn the video games, damn that heavy metal rock and roll, and, you know, like... but it's nothing about like gun culture or anything like that. Like it's just strictly, it's the music, it's the Marilyn Mansons. Oh God, I hope he referred to Marilyn Manson considering he barely makes music anymore. And yeah, the video game.
He seems to make a lot of food because he's become quite the large.
I haven't seen him recently.
He looks like a big like ball of half pushed Play-Doh like in his face.
The last time I saw him was on Tim and Eric, and he was already quite pudgy there. Nothing against it. It's just interesting to see how a person can go out of the light and then just eclipse themselves. So, yeah, it's crazy. But in relation to this story, it just kind of gets to you. It's also on that like that mental health aspect where they try to throw that in there as well, where they say like, oh, it's a mental health thing, blah blah blah, blah. And it's just like, no, like a lot of people have mental health issues, and then a lot of people play video games, and everyone else seems to be keeping it together. Like, you know, like, I just hate it that they reach for everything else and they try to grab video games, which have been around for years now. Years. People... Yeah. Like...
Yeah, like, there's this line in here where he's sort of saying, we are desensitizing young people to the actual tragic reality and permanency of death. Like he thinks you play a video game and think, okay, it's fine in that game. I got some experience points, or I evaded the cops and made some money. You know, let's try and replicate that in real life. Like, no, like, unless you were very seriously unhinged and might have some kind of, you know, issues with your mental capacity, no people think that. They don't play a video game and then go, okay, I can reenact that and, you know, get rewarded. They don't watch a video and go, you know what, I saw that in there, I'm going to do it now and I'm going to be the cool guy. Like, these it is, like, it might happen from time to time, but it's very, 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 very few and far between. Like, it's in the minuscule of percent that people might actually understand or not understand that these sources of media are real life or can be replicated in real life to success. Like, people know.
I'm glad he did bring up TV though, because, like, you know, he didn't just blame like games and stuff like that. I'm glad he brought up TV, but it's, you know, it's still all under the same like roof, where it's like, okay, so this kid was 18 anyway, right? So
yeah, I think he was 19, but yeah, still young, still impressionable.
I know that, but like he's still under the mature age guidance anyway. I do agree that some little kids, like little kids, are playing games that they shouldn't be, but that's under the parents' guise anyway. So, you know,
yeah, and little things like you seem to hear this immediate flow on when one of these tragedies occur, where the authorities will say, oh yes, he's on a watch list of ours, or we've been aware of his social presence, and like, obviously second this happens, they'll obviously comb the internet records for photos and history of the offender, and he's in there posting photos of him cutting up frogs, buying guns, quoting Allah, all this kind of stuff, and it's bizarre because I know, you know, for a fact, peeling the curtain back a little bit, obviously the authorities, I can't speak for other countries, but at least I know here in Australia, They're a specific task force where all they do 24/7 is comb for specific search words, specific image criteria, and then follow them through. I know a situation where someone I know posted something on social media with sort of, I guess, some self-harm undertones to it, and literally 2 hours later the police were knocking at their doorstep.
Wow.
Like, obviously I don't think this is a regular thing, and obviously the task force isn't probably big enough to monitor everything, but I know it's out there. And to see these things constantly slip through the net, or you hear it after the fact, oh yeah, he's been posting photos with guns left, right and center, or with knives, or talking about harming people, and yet it goes unnoticed. They need to invest maybe some more money into that technology and into that sort of area of prevention, as opposed to some of this other shit they seem to sink money into.
War. There you go. There's the most violent thing that they actually promote positively anyway, is, you want to, if you can't go to college, you should, fight for your country, and shoot innocent people. But that's another whole political thing that I could get into. But,
you might be getting in on that on It Is What It Is sometime in the near future. Who knows? But it's ridiculous. I mean, me and you have kind of grown up with this always being like an attack on things that we both enjoy, whether it be video games or whether it be heavy metal music. Like, we've both been into that. And look at us, we're fine specimens. I'm a sassy bitch, and I'm a sassy
You're
bitch
a sassy
too.
bitch too, so
yeah. It's just constantly these figureheads or people in positions of power just clutching at low hanging fruit, where they're like, okay, we need to blame somebody. Let's not blame these bodies that we oversee. The NRA, for example, in this case in point, was sort of this Florida shooting, but instead, it's because this young troubled man grew up on a diet of Slipknot and GTA 5 online. That's why he is what he is. Like, it's such a fucking cop out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No one wants to be accountable.
Yeah, no.
That's the problem.
And that's the thing. Like, no one wants to address the fine line of, like, of the things that, like, yeah, I agree, mental health issues are a big, big problem, but they don't want to fucking fix it. They take it away from them anyway. So,
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Well.
And they're so concerned about their forefathers' rights to bear arms from several hundred years ago. And, like, I don't have an issue with that. Like, the right to bear arms is one thing, but make the process harder. Don't make Timmy or Sally that have just left school be able to walk into a gun shop or walk into a goddamn Walmart, buy a Happy Meal, and then go over the counter and then buy a fucking Glock.
Yeah,
like,
when I saw guns sold in a sports store, I obviously don't know what kind of like caliber it was, but I think it was a hunting gun. Like, it was just there. Like, that was really confronting for me when I was visiting the States. So I'm just like, oh, holy crap, this is really a thing. I don't know if any of our American listeners kind of understand the level of like absurdity when it comes to guns in such very family oriented spaces. It's really confronting. It's really confronting for us. So
yeah, like it is for me to a degree. Obviously, I've had a bit of a different upbringing.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up around it and the country and things like that. But
you don't see the
even those little
center.
things. No, like there's the occasional sort of hunting store around the place, but even them now, like, obviously I'm not looking keenly when I'm driving around the streets and stuff, but you don't see them very often anymore.
No.
I think I've seen one up here in Queensland since I've been here, and that was just by chance. Like, yeah, it's not like it's you walk into a Walmart, as you said in America, you go to the bank over there, you get some money out, you go buy some frozen bloody White Castle burgers, and then you go buy a gun. Like, all in the one place. Like, it's just insane.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers. I just think that, yeah, I'm just glad the best thing that's come out of this so far is that I think the kids now have had enough. And the last thing I read was that some of the kids are thinking about not going back to school until something gets done. So,
yeah, like, it has been very empowering from some of the clips I've seen on YouTube and Twitter and just news outlets where they have been interviewing some of the victims and some of the people, like, friends of the victims or family members of victims, and they are making a big public outcry and a big stance.
Yeah.
We're kids, we shouldn't be dealing with this. We go to school, sort your shit out. Like, obviously I'm completely paraphrasing and butchering the quotes, but
yeah.
It's nice to see. it's nice to see the typical voiceless trying to stand up and unite and try and make some change. So we'll see what comes of it, if anything.
If anything, yeah. And
it's...
Yeah, no, it's just... I was just going to say, it's just, like, really conflicting, like, especially us talking about another person's country, other people's rights, all that sort of stuff. But we're seeing way too much. We're seeing way too much death, especially in regards to young people. It's just...
Yeah, and any of our international listeners, or even typically ones, especially ones, in the United States, if you do have any opinions on it, feel free to engage with us on social media, or feel free to drop us an email at hello@8bit.net, because it'd be good to get a perspective from the other side of the coin there.
Definitely.
Just because I'm really interested in getting those perspectives. What do you think? What do you feel? Tell us how it is sort of over there at ground level, because these things just can't keep happening.
No, and like you're bringing up, the best way to kind of deal with it is to have a conversation, as it is with anything. Exactly. So that's sort of the news headlines that we wanted to tackle this week. Obviously, that last one's a pretty serious topic with a lot of points of contention in it, I think, especially with some of the proud arms-bearing Americans over there. But yeah, us proud gamers don't like having our hobby dragged through the dirt.
It's just a shame that like they sort of do that, those below the belt shots unnecessarily, instead of just being, this young man is extremely troubled, the healthcare system let him down or something, instead they just go, he played too much Call of Duty,
No,
fuck you, Activision, fuck you, Treyarch, it's all on you. Like, don't put that on a developer's hands. That's disgusting.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah. So, sadly, it's probably not going to be the last thing we hear in this vein this year, but I, for one, hope for some kind of change. Like, here in Australia, we had obviously the worst mass shooting in history, and then a few months later, we had the big weapons buyback scheme, and there hasn't been a shooting of that nature since.
No. Yeah.
So let's see what happens in America. Let's see if this event in Florida is going to be big enough to make some change. I ultimately probably don't think so, which is disgusting, but at least more people are talking about it.
Yeah. And
leave gamers and media alone, like, film and music and television, they're not the cause of this.
Yeah. No, don't drag other people through, like, people's hard work and creativity just because, like, there is an underlying problem that you guys don't want to deal with. For the most part, and I know that a lot of gamers out there could say this, is that gamers actually probably helped my mental state, and have actually really helped me out. I've been able to connect with other people across the world thanks to gaming, and I reckon it's helped me a great deal. So, shoe on the other foot.
100%, like... It's a safe space for people. Obviously, there is some toxicity in chats and things like that. But as you said, like there's been times over the years where I've been feeling a bit shitty. So you fire up a game, whether it be online or offline, and you just escape for a little while. You enjoy that time. You forget about your troubles for those few hours, and it helps you. It's a coping mechanism. So yeah, don't be trying to say that this is some kind of trigger to violent intentions and violent acts. Like, that's not the case. No way in hell.
It's something much greater.
No way in hell.
Much more nicer.
Yeah. And something that is also nicer is our final segment of the podcast,
iTunes Review of the Week.
Okay, so this review comes to us via way of an Australian-based listener whose iTunes username is iDrewby, who I can't say with complete certainty, but he may or may not be one of the hosts from the House of Mario Nintendo podcast, which drops each and every Tuesday, which can be found on the hashtag 8bit collective. And I want to just preface this. We didn't say, hey, write us a review. We didn't say, hey, now that you're part of the collective, do this. He did it out of the kindness of his own heart because he's a good bloke. He's a country man. He's got country values. So, iDrewby, thanks for taking the time to write this review. He gave us that tasty 5 stars. And the headline reads, I have a huge appetite and these guys fill me up. So that's sort of let that simmer for a little bit there, because it's a bit saucy.
Get that injection.
Okay, so the review reads, great podcast with passionate hosts that love video games, ! Hashtag stay hungry. So I like these weaved in sort of food and eating throughout the whole thing. stay hungry, huge appetite, fill me up.
Passionate.
You know, passionate. It ties into what we're about. You know, we're passionate about what we do and what we say. We like to eat. We like to cook, as evidenced by that fluffy pancake discussion that opened up the show today.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, iDruby, thank you for that review.
I know this
that
is meant to be
a
a shout out to us, but I just also want to say, like, listening to the House of Mario, got to give it to them. They did a whole segment about like Wario, and you know how much I love Wario. And,
he's your boy.
And they wrote a very sexy fan fiction. They read one out, so
damn.
good, listen to them.
We don't want to dive into spoilers, but check it out. The House of Mario on Twitter, but they're also obviously available on iTunes and other podcasting platforms, or you can just go to 8bit.net/The House of Mario and check out their stuff right there on that landing page. But yeah, thank you, iDruby, or Drew, as you may or not be known, if you are in fact the same Drew we're talking about here. If you are just randomly another iDruby out there, apologies for
assuming,
presuming that you are a host on the House of Mario. If not, maybe hit him up and you could do some kind of doppelganger episode, who knows. But yeah, thank you for that review. They leave the emotional lights on in our hearts while you're taking the time to rate, review, subscribe us on your platform of choice. Be sure to do the same to those other podcasts you are listening to, because it helps. It helps so much. It helps more than you guys know. We love that interaction. So
it's a good interaction to have. Like, yeah. I know. Back in the day when I was listening to podcasts, like, you kind of sit there and you think, what's my review gonna do? Like, they already hear all the good stuff. It's like, yeah, but like, we want to hear you specifically. What do you like? What don't you like? What is there anything you want to suggest? Like, this is your platform. Tell us. Let us know.
100%. And we're still, even though we're 93 episodes in now, we are still trying to refine the science and shape ultimately the best content for you guys out there. So yeah, hit us up on the social medias. Your likes, your dislikes, or if you wanted to make it a little bit more anonymous, shoot us an email, hello@8bit.net, because yeah, we do want to shape, not only here with the Hungry Gamers, the best content we can for you guys, but we can relay that to these other podcasts, part of the collective as well. As you guys know, we've got D&D, we've got gaming, we've got pop culture, we've got interview podcasts, we've got news-based podcasts now, we've got a whole slew
movies, wrestling,
varied verticals. Yeah, like, you name it, it's on here. And if there's something that you want or something you think could have been executed a bit better, hit us up. We're all pretty open book. And without that feedback, we're not going to know how to create the perfect recipe moving forward to prepare this daily or weekly podcasting or video content-based dish for you guys to consume every day or every week.
Very nice. I give you a little nod.
See, I weave that all the way back in there to the food talk. Yeah.
Speaking of which, you're probably hungry, right?
A little bit. It's now 10 in the morning. I'm probably going to go, I might make a smoothie. I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I've been making sort of smoothies and chucking a bit of ginger and all that kind of stuff in to try and, I know it's not the best, but it's helping. It's so strong. My goodness, it's strong.
It just kills everything.
It does, and that's why you need that ginger.
Kills everything inside as well. All right, fair enough.
But yeah, that has been a podcast. It was a bit of a shorter run, but we don't have Sam blowing hot air throughout the podcast today. Love you, Sam. Just kidding. We will be back as per usual this coming Friday with a new episode. Myself and Ali. Hopefully Sam, he's got a few things on, which he's very excited to tell you guys about. Hopefully, if he's on this week, he'll talk to you about something pretty cool he's about to unveil. Otherwise, we'll look at probably getting a third person in to man the Salim the Dream chair, but don't know who that is yet, haven't even reached out, but we'll find somebody if we want to. Otherwise, we can just duo it again because this is great.
Yeah, man.
Anything you want to say? What are you looking forward to? Anything that you got coming up in the next couple of days that you want to shed some light on?
No, not really. I'm just obviously you're going to find me back on the farm, really. If not, maybe I'll start training up Overwatch. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll actually start giving it a solid go. And Steam sale. Everyone check out the Steam sale because there are some good deals in there. I finally bought Paradigm.
Yes.
So,
point and click adventure by some great Aussie devs.
Exactly. So I'm thinking about giving that a go. I don't know if anyone would want a video of that, but I'll definitely be trying it out. So keep an eye out for that.
I think so. Yeah, I'm excited to. I'll talk to you more about it offline regarding what we want to do with Overwatch, but I'm actually keen to get in, give that a go, and have a bit of fun with that. We're gonna do a bit more streaming. I think we might be doing some PUBG and maybe some Mario Kart stuff tonight on the Switch. So if you're about,
I don't know.
We're gonna maybe do a little.
I've already got.
Oh no!
I got sassed by Narcy for not having Mario Kart.
Yeah, so a bit more of that. Other than that, we've got podcasts coming up this week. I'm just excited to sort of just relax and catch up on some content too. Like there's a few other podcasts that I've been listening to. I want to listen to the new Putting in Work podcast that had Colin Moriarty from
I've been hearing so many good
IGN and Kinda Funny fame.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to give that a spin at some stage today. And I've got to also get some more video content up. There's a great review of Celeste dropping today on our YouTube channel by Sammy Deej or Sam Harkin, which is fantastic. It's about a 5-6 minute banger, but well cut together. He's done a fantastic job as he always does.
He's been
and I'm
killing
actually
it.
keen to get into Celeste. I've heard so many good things about that game. I think I'm going to buy it on the Switch and get into it.
There was another game on the Switch actually that I think got released this week. I can't remember. It's like Fur 4 or something like that. I don't
Faye?
know. Faye, is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, F-E. I don't know if you pronounce it as Faye or you say it something differently, but yeah.
Yeah, and that piqued my interest. I might investigate into it a little bit more, but it kind of looks like my thing. I'll have to see.
Yeah. I'm going to try and finish Assassin's Creed Origins, and then I'm going to move on to Yakuza O or Yakuza 0.
I want to play Yakuza.
Yeah. So that's the next thing I'm going to try and push through before Sea of Thieves drops next month.
Oh, so many games.
The hype is real. All right, 8-Bit Nation. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to check out audiotechnica.com.au for the best in all your audio equipment. 8bit.net for the best in all your video games and geek culture infotainment. Hit us up as a collective at We Are 8-Bit. Find me on pretty well every platform and gaming station at Brendan 8-Bit.
You can find me at Miss Ali Hart.
All right, until next week, or maybe, no, later this week, I should say. Much love.
Stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.